for smoke ganks.
It's usually 0 to 1. I think
Well, we're gonna have one right now, so if there's a kill that comes out of this.
Oh yeah, let's see.
We're gonna take 2 right now. The arrow's gonna come out, will land on the DYF. They're gonna be able to get a lot of damage onto him, but he has a blink up in a second here, and will be able to get himself away. Nice double stun though. Yao's gonna be the next target. He's already dropped pretty low, and they will be able to finish him off. The Whirling Death just cuts down that strength hero down to size. They'll get a good stun and manage to get the kill in return on the blink, but now a lot of damage onto Faith Beyond. Lines up the stun again onto Xiao Wei. They'll be able to take a second kill. Faith Beyond tries to take the trees, hide himself away, healing Sal, and a disruption is going to be able to save his life. A 2-for-1 exchange with Wings also picking up the first blood. Wings come very clearly out on top in that engagement.
Yeah.
So we already have 1 on the board, right, Ben?
I'll go with 2. 2 Wings, Shadow, quickly!
You lost. I mean, I just throw it down.
Yeah, okay.
I literally just picked anything.
I mean, it's better than picking nothing.
I'm set against you. Oh, no, I didn't even get this one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, I did. Your pick. LFY.
Okay.
So I'm against you on this one, apparently. I'm siding with LFY all the way.
You're clearly biased.
It was my subconscious kicking in, you know, under pressure, under 3 seconds. Well, Suba's going to have to TP back to lane here, already off to a bad start. Is this purely the Quas? Do you think this is going to be a Quas Wex game, or is it the...
It's Super. Super is very well known for his Quas Wex. Oh, way more over Quas Exor. I will say these games I've seen him play, it's 80-20 plus Quas Wex, so leads me to believe Quas Wex. Is it better here, though? Yeah, they have anti-mage. You can easily go Quas.
It's kind of a shame that you're going to miss out on potential Sunstrike kills thanks to Sand King and Rubik setting him up.
It is not a shame if you've seen Super's Quas Wex. His is one of the best.
I conclude.
That's actually the hero I first saw him on. That I thought that he was really good when he was on VG. Played DK.
Yeah. You stuck around too long, my friend. They thought they could actually kill Innocent, but instead it's going to be the other way around. Yao turns and fights. He's got a Bro Strike up. He may have to use it here. No, he's good. Fairy Fire. He will stay alive. Manages to force some regen out of Y. He's actually going to be dropping pretty low here. Ice is also going to be running low on regen. So this dual lane can actually bully the supports out right now.
Not if he's suiciding units.
That is also true. The great fun of this patch. Well, you can't suicide the neutrals if you can't get there in time. Innocence is going to be caught here and taken down by the right clicks. Yao will be the one to pick up that kill. Ice sets himself up for the 2-minute rune.
Nice play by Xiao Wei. He's making the support last run work. It's not easy to make work. And yeah, doing a lot of damage. Making these supports work to keep their safe lane secure and making sure that Yao gets his levels. He's level 3 at the moment, despite that brawl prior to the Horn.
You're going to see Xiao Wei deny himself, and in the meantime, he is going to be leaving Sand King all by his lonesome. He doesn't actually have the mana to be able to Burrow Strike up, and Arrow's going to come in, nails him. Ice, showing off his support Mirana.
Got him good.
Got him real good. Faith Beyond doing. He's the off-lane Nyx Assassin against a Rubik and Animage.
Perfectly okay.
Yeah. He just wants levels, right? And Nyx Assassin is definitely a hero, an offlaner.
He wants to be able to pull,
yeah.
I think is the most important thing. Like, it's a given that he's going to get levels. It's more of a question of whether or not he's going to... Ooh.
Nice idea here. LFY, they rotate Xiao Wei up to the top lane to punish Faith Beyond as he tries to push up against DDC, and it looks like they should be able to get this kill. Faith Bolt is being held on to. They just need a couple more right clicks. ZYF can blink in a second. Mangoes, TP's out. Oh god, he's gonna dodge all of it until the right click comes in. They still managed to get that kill.
That was really close.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think that's okay for Wings because they're leaving Yao out alone, who could potentially easily die to the Shadow Demon Mirana. Ice decided to, I believe, take the long way back home and did not die to mutes or with mana regen.
Which means Yao was able to get a pull off.
Yeah, the deny thing, he also maybe could have been able to up, let's say, to the mount to help. Actually, he couldn't have done, but they could have pressured Yao a little bit more, as you mentioned.
How are you feeling about this this LFY team, the stand-ins, by the way? Obviously, you're never going to feel real confident saying, like, oh, they're a better team because they have these players. Everyone knows that synergy is important, but are you more comfortable than most other stand-ins situations that we've seen before? Right, they got some pretty good players on their team.
Yeah, I think they actually should have been able to do better in the China qualifiers. So I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up. I think most of the qualifier teams from China as well as LFY are very similar, and if the other two deserve to be here, I think that they are kind of the runner-up and a very close runner-up, like 95%.
Yeah, going to lead the things off here on the Shadow Point. They're going to be able to get that stun. Follow-up arrow is going to land on a Yao. Looks like they can actually trade off kills here. Yao is definitely done for, and the Shadow Demon still managed to get out. Zhao Wei is going to be chased away by Shadow with that heavy right-click damage combined with the Shadow Demon's Soul Catcher. We're seeing this build all the time now on Shadow Demons, especially coupled up with the Mirana. It makes a lot of sense, but with Shadow Poison receiving the nerfs that it did, a lot more Shadow Demons are putting value in earlier levels of Soul Catcher.
Yeah, so Yao is becoming a liability very, very soon. Like, Xiao Wei has done, like, all that he could in the early game. Like, he had that 4-man stun on the hill, like, he got that kill on the Shadow Demon, and still, like, Yao's in a position of, he still needs help, which is never good as a Sand King. Like, you don't really want to force your supports to constantly park themselves down there, because now Nyx is getting a lot of levels, and then Xiao Wei, like, got another kill on top, and still, it's like, okay, Sand King, like, he still doesn't feel safe at all. Like, he can easily still die at any time, and maybe the call has been to, you know, if you die, whatever, we just want you in lane so the supports don't ruin our Invoker's life. Especially because he doesn't have the Force Spears to block the arrow, but it's just rough for LGD for every young in this early game. You want as much space created for the anti-mage as possible, and right now it's only Xiao Wei doing it.
Yeah. Oh. Rotation across. Shadow is going to be a target here. Nice disruption there from Innocence. Perfectly timed. Dodges the stun.
Dude, there's no way they would have killed him.
Death Pact. As soon as it, like, ganking a Clinks is so timing focused. It's like ganking an Alchemist, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he has his ultimate up, it's just like, it's a bad time. You wait for that to go away.
Or you just need a lot more people. I think it's better to just limit his farm at this point in time, which is also a good idea. However, Sand King doesn't have that much regen. He doesn't have a Clarity, he doesn't have a Mango, he doesn't have Arcanes, and his partner doesn't have Arcanes. So they need to make each of these stuns count.
Should be a fairly easy kill. Most Innocence can do is...
They're all coming in.
Second here, and maybe that second can actually allow them to be able to get a return kill. Zhao Wei is going to be cut off here by Blink. Denies him from being able to run to the river. Ice is also nearby. Out the extra ice. And Shadow starts going on a super here, but he is going to be EMP'd up. Thankfully, he's very tanky to the Death Pact, and they managed to catch him with the chop from towards the end. Super ends up going down. So that extra second or two from the Shadow Demon disrupting himself does actually help buy them a return kill. They found out what they were expecting, though. Super. Very valuable kill, and the Invoker ends up dying.
And they managed to pop down a very deep Observer War on the side of Forever Young. So even if it's a 1-for-1, maybe slightly not the most in your favor, getting that war down is pretty important, so you can scout out the Clinks' movements. Right.
He's a hero that can abandon his safe lane pretty quickly, right? Spend time in his own jungle or even the enemy jungle, as we've seen. I'm reminded by Eternal Envy's Klink's play, how he always, as soon as he picked up level 6, would go into the enemy jungle and just kind of park his butt there.
I wonder what item he's going for. He has 1,800 gold.
Yeah.
So he's actually going for the older build, not the max, minus armor build.
Yeah, with Desolator. Face Beyond, a little bit of trouble. Thankfully, the Cold Snap is worn off, but never mind. Counts on the other side. He just right-clicks him, and that will be good enough. In the meantime, though, a much more important kill. Animage. He ends up going down to the top lane. Wings rotate both supports, manage to get that kill. Animage's farm being slowed down.
This is very important. This is a real big turn in the game plan decision. There's two ways to tackle the anti-mage. One is trade farm, and you take down Roche because Clint's really good at doing that, and you fight the AM late game. And the other is to pressure him now, keep him weak, and slow down his Battle Fury and just keep killing him after that because you want to slow down his Manta, and then you get the Orchid and keep killing him.
Right.
So I I wouldn't say there's like a right or a wrong way. It's just it depends on the team, and their plan is to pressure the AM before he gets Manta style. So this is they're invading their top area, and as soon as the Clink gets his Orchid, it's going to be turned up a notch.
Double the counterboard as well as Dust is going to be able to spot out Faith Beyond as he tries to use the Vendetta to escape. He's going to be slowed down a bit, and thanks to the Spike Carapace, it looks like he might be okay. The Dust is just about to wear out. He gets a nice 3-man stun, but unfortunately the Disruption also laid out. He'll be taken off by the ultimate as well as the combination of DDC, managed to get the Fate Bolts out. Blink comes in, swoops in for the support kill, and now looks to chase for more. Into the tier 1 tower, Yao's going to be the target here, gets perched up, dodges the air with a Burrow Strike and a stun on the Blink, but he will still end up going down, and Wings will translate that action into some pushing power onto this tier 1 tower. Big benefit of having a Clinks on your team.
It's going to be super slow. Clinks actually does not have his Orchid yet, so nor does he have a Blightstone.
Yeah.
So I don't even think the tower's going to die. Yao's pretty much up, and this will buy time for Anti-Mage to farm another lane. He's already moved to the mid lane, and he has the TP up, so he could kind of farm all over.
Well, they automatically lose DDC. It becomes a whole lot easier. LFY now going to have to take on a 4 versus 5. They try and go into Shadow, but an EMP is dodged there thanks to the disruption. They go into Blink instead, but he's relatively tanky. 2 levels of the armor is going to help him out just enough. LFY are going to be forced back again underneath their tier 1 tower. The longer they hold, the more time they're buying for this Anti-Mage as he's pushing out bottom.
It's technically worth it for your Rubik to sacrifice himself to save the tower.
And by time, yeah.
So it kind of looked like it was just a feed, but he probably saw the arrow coming, and he TP'd in a very aggressive position and probably expected to die there or get covered by EMP Tornado or whatever maybe that LFY had to offer at the time. But yeah, they're really slowing down the Clink's farm too, because Clink's, he TP'd up there, didn't really get that much out of it, didn't get a tower, all he got was a Sand King kill for like, a minute and a half, 2 minutes plus worth of work. And his Orchid could have come out maybe already, I would say, if he were just parked down bottom and pressured a T1 by himself. But they thought that there would be a larger engagement on top.
Who do you think's decision was it? Just sort of snap decision. The
For Shadow
versus.
Oh,
I think they're two different styles.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not sure.
You have to play more gank heavy to make sure that Manta doesn't counter Orchid, right? In some ways, it puts you more pressure. Less pressure to take objectives, but more pressure to keep the AM down.
Wings is a high risk, high reward. We've seen that a lot.
And they always play more kill heavy than they practice.
I think you also learn a lot more from doing this sort of risky play because I think because it's so execution based, you could have always played better. Whereas if you go the other way, you're like, oh, maybe it was just the wrong decision. It's very hard to like squeak out maybe like 100 more GPM. That's a lot to ask for. But
they leave 2 in mid. They're going to actually make a Moonlight Shadow rotation with their 2 supports, catch them from behind, and now the TP's come in after they've already taken down one of the supports. Nailed the super with the arrow. The Invoker's going to end up going down as well. Nice rotation there. That very clearly caught LFY by complete surprise. They were showing 2 cores in mid lane while they took down that tier 1 tower, and 2 supports, with thanks to Moonlight Shadow, set up the fight at top lane.
They're venturing out way too far. I think as soon as you see the Oblivion staff on Clinks, like their game plan should become more apparent as to what Wings are going to do. In reaction, they should do what they did before, but not extend past that T1 tower. They're like pretty good, welled up at the T1 tower, and the Orchid already come out. Anti-Mage, will he die? No, he will not. But that has to be a grimace coming out from End as he shrugs off the Orchid and tries to farm up his Battle Fury. He knows he's
have Battle Fury yet.
Yeah, he knows he's in a really bad spot.
That's what happens. Super, he does see this one thanks to the counterward, so they might just be able to cage Faith Beyond. The arrow's going to come in, nicely sidestepped there by Super, but now he's going to be Orchided up. He should be okay. No big nuke damage is coming in anytime soon. Faith Beyond barely survived through all of that. In the meantime, Wings did take the tier 1 tower at top lane with the duo of Shattered Demon and Timbersong.
So more items need to come out. The Clinks needs, I would say, a Blightstone, bare minimum, because he's so physical damage based. Maybe could have gotten the kill on AM with that. They also need the Blink Dagger on the Sand King. He had a rough start. It continues to be rough. No Iron Talons. halfway to his Blink Dagger, and then Invoker just needs any sort of item. Orchid is the go-to, Midas occasionally, which looks like what he's going for right now because they know that they need this game to go on
This
a while.
is a very important kill. Shadow gets caught by the counter ward as he tries to do something by himself solo, but gets caught and actually gives away a very important ability as well. DDC actually stole Skeleton Walk, which is not just great escape mechanism, but also can potentially set up team fights, get a lot of information. Valuable ability for DDC to be able to pick up, especially since he's got Arcane Boots soon. So he's even got the sustain to be able to just stay out in the map constantly.
Now I think Wings are pressed with the decision. What do we want to do? Now they've taken back control of your jungle, and the anti-mage is going to farm his Battle Fury at this rate if they don't do anything about it. So do they want to trade farm again? Do they want a few more items in the clinks like treads or whatever it may be? Or do they want to pressure that really, really hard with this Rubik scattering them out? It could be a big waste of time.
A pick off on Shadow due to his over-aggression turns into almost a kill on the Timbersaw. Fortunately, the disruption will buy so much time they just blow up the Sand King again, showing off that Whirling Death and how powerful it is against strength heroes.
Yao has just been the brunt of all of these arrows thrown out from my eyes.
Super will ensure there is no TPN and henceforth no deny on the tower either.
Again, Shadow and the rest of Wings go the more aggressive route, which is taking control of their jungle. They're going to bring everyone over there instead of trying to trade farms. So you can see like the decisions made by them over and over again is to go the more aggressive route, take as much control as they can because they can.
Got him. Fake Beyond, it gives them the walk away. Leshrac ends up going down due to the Chakram.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Thanking Yao was almost there. God, he needs it too, because this Nyx is out. So you want to compare offlaners right now. Faith Beyond, thanks to the fact that he's a hero that just simply doesn't need that item and can come online a lot sooner. A lot more impact in being able to shut down the enemy cores.
Yeah, the Sand King has just died in every time he wants to go in, and I think that Y is playing amazingly well. Like his defensive disruptions have just been incredibly good. And the thing about defensive disruptions, like you have to be there before the fight starts. So he like predicts these movements from Shadow and DDC see each other.
Counter ward for a counter ward. They're going to bait out Shadow a little bit as he goes for the counter ward himself, tries to go for the Orchid on DDC. Innocence is ready to go at any point in time to disrupt, but it's just not necessary. They're going to get the kill on Yao, and disrupt on DDC will allow them to be able to pick up that extra kill on the side. And EMP will keep the rest of Wings from surging forward and catching any more members of LFY. But again, Wings choosing the aggressive option, opting to fight and bait out whenever possible.
One of the reasons why Wings is thought is so formidable is because they read the opponent's movements very, very well. Like, they had 5 people there, and you'll be like, yeah, they lost that fight. But they had 5 people there. They were ready for LFY to make the movement with the aggressive skeleton walk. They were prepared with sentries. They even had a dust on the Mirana too, just to make sure that LFY couldn't really make the moves that they wanted to do. They know that the other 4 are going to try and create space for the AM, either just stalling pushes or making aggressive maneuvers, picking one off and then getting out. And they already got the kill on Clinks. They thought they could get greedy and get a little bit more, but instead now they've kind of relinquished hold of the enemy jungle and can only farm their own. And again, Yao dies again.
17-minute battle period, that's where we're at right now for DYF. So he's got it. It's a bit late, and he's still really, like, he still has this whole entire period of time where he's trying to build Manta, but he's super susceptible to the Orchid that whole entire time.
They're smoking.
LFY got to create some space for him in the next 5 to 8 minutes. And this smoke is going to be the first start. They saw Shadow farming up that top lane. The smoke is popped. They get the dust out, but the problem is, this hero, even after it gets dusted, is still so fast thanks to the 4 levels of Skeleton Walk, they're not going to be able to catch him. Super throws out the Tornado. Fortunately, a wand from Innocence, even through the EMP, will allow him to throw out the Disruption, catching Super. An Orchid goes down, but they do not have any follow-up disables until Fate Beyond's on the other side. He hits the stun, easily cleans up the Invoker. DDC lies in wait, but unfortunately, he did not have the Skeleton Walk before this, so I think it timed out, or maybe he died. He wasn't able to set up that gank on Shadow like they really wanted.
Yeah, he had died.
Yeah, so unfortunately that smoke is just always going to be hard, right?
But the Clinks read it well though. He didn't go straight right into the secret shop. He went down so that if the smoke popped, he would be at very high range. He was at like 800 range, let's say. If he went to the right, he would be at like 200 range. They easily chase him down with a lift. whatever they had, but the Rubik wasn't in range of lift, and by the time he was, the fight was too close to Wings' T2.
Right.
And now Wings with another aggressive maneuver. DDC will pop smoke, but now Mirana is out of detection. No sentries, no dust. DDC, wow, he's in deep.
He's just trying to see if he can stall off that Mirana. Not going to happen. Moonlight Shadow thrown down. Bait Beyond spotting out a lot of these heroes. It's the Vendetta. He's going to go on the super first. If Orchid goes out just a little bit too late, but it doesn't matter. They'll still manage to get super, and Yao's going to be forced back. Zhao Wei actually trying to clear through the creep wave, but Bait Beyond jumps into him with the Spike Carapace ready to go. That stalls up his retreat, almost allowing Blink to be able to catch him. Nice telekinesis back by our Rubik. Ice. His body is thrown into multiple members of Wings, stalling up their aggressive move. They're still going to try and peck away this tier 2 tower with the Clinks. BYF though, he just sees this as more time for his Manta.
Yeah, he's actually getting there. He's only, what, a little over 1,000 gold away?
I don't know if he had items stashed away, but I was like 17-minute battlefield, and all of a sudden I click on him 18 minutes and he has Yasha already, so.
Yeah, that's what happens. And they've been keeping very good track of the Clinks, because Clinks have been farming in lane a lot, so that just invites Anti-Mage to farm wherever he wants. And let's see, next assassin actually has a Blink Dagger too, so he's getting there in terms of farm. We still haven't really seen any huge plays out of Yao yet. That may change now that he can FE and Blink.
Do you think in some ways that, because if you look at their setup, right, they've got two heroes, the Timbersaw as well as the Mirana on a 4 position, that are able to spam out waves. Do you think Shadow needs to be showing himself in lane as much? You just said him showing in lane is allowing the animation to feel more confident in farming and that sort of thing.
No, he shouldn't, but it's not really his fault. It's obviously the other people need to be able to push out the lanes, and Blink has gone for the BOTs, so now he can fulfill that role where, I mean, Shadow also needs more. He's doing very well in net worth.
And wave clear, there's two sides to the story, right? LFY are also doing a really good job of pushing out the wave and forcing it, so Shadow, even though he doesn't want to, has to actually stop some of these pushes.
Definitely.
And that's on Zhao Wei, right? He's doing a great job spamming out waves so much. Yao's gonna be caught though. Yao's gonna be donezo as the arrow nails him once again. This guy seems to be a target dummy every single time. Just arrows lined up, 18-7, 21 minutes in. At least he's got his Blink Dagger, so has that big initiating tool, but Wings are definitely taking advantage of these positioning errors.
Ooh, Sentry Ward drop. Faith Beyond will go up towards the high ground, where there are more sentries, but no heroes involved. Or is he going to walk into this trap?
Well, stun goes out. They are going to be able to combo it up. No Spike Carapace just yet, but the arrow's going to come in. Now the Spike Carapace goes down, and DDC, he's actually maybe going to be popped as well. The Leshrac, nailed by the arrow, had no hope whatsoever. Blink forward. Nice turnaround. DDC managed to get the stun out that's stolen from the Nyx Assassin to keep him alive. And again, it's just all this kind of action, right? The more you can delay these kills, make sure that Wings don't pick up too much. Animage is getting more and more space to farm. Wings have taken almost all the outer objectives, though, and they just now pick up the Desolator.
Demoralizing.
I mean, it's the fact that he didn't go Desolator, and they still have every single tower except this top tier 2 by 20 minutes.
And they laid a trap for the Nyx, and then their heroes died.
Yeah.
That's even more depressing.
I mean, I feel like that, in some ways, LFY keeps kind of doing that, right? They went on the Nyx Assassin in this area, right? With just 2 heroes. They did it with Yao
they went on Shadow.
Yeah, right. They went on Shadow. But again, it was like kind of a 2-hero, combo that they tried to do.
Yeah.
Wings are always bringing all their heroes to the fight.
Yeah. That leaves the opportunity for them to be able to be split push from their opponent. If they're always good at that, that's generally the response. But they're not fully committed to split pushing. They're still trying to make plays happen as forward, despite Invoker, let's say, not having the Ghost Walk into Orchid combo that can solo pick people. He went for more of a team fight build, I would say, with the 4-step. So it's too little really happening from their. But I think, I mean, it's not that bad though, because he died in a very, very long time.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing this style for a reason, right? They're kind of playing a bit aggressive. They're trying to play you know, where Wings can't just run all over the map and do what they want. They set up these opportunities, they set up these chances to be able to go on a hero.
Yeah, defensive is too
draws
predictable.
Attention away from and
a little bit late on the 4-step there, but it does push him uphill in time for him to dodge that last hit, which probably would have killed him with the addition of the Orchid tick. Maybe.
How do they know? Is it this ward? Seems like Blink had some idea that there was going to be a Rubik AM combination on him. They're trying to set up some sort of situation where they could get that invis.
Oh, anti-mage. They saw him TP.
That is real bad. He has the Manta though, so Faith Beyond's gonna have to try and get a stun out of invis, and I'm not sure if they can burst him down. We'll see. They're actually gonna set up with the Spike Carapace into the Battle Fury, but bam! LFY is playing a trap of their own. They take down both, and now the Timbersaw has entered into the fray. Fortunately, they've got that Aegis, but a Clinks with an Aegis really doesn't amount to much. No death pack there, and he just gets taken apart by the magic damage. Fortunately, our Timbersaw is making a grand escape, but LFY just punished Wings so heavily, setting up that trap.
Yeah, anti-mage, I really like this play over there. He knows that if he's in the fog, it's very difficult for Nyx to hit him with a stun and Clinks to keep right-clicking. So he kind of played in the trees a little bit, and then his senses went off, and he backed off towards the tower where all his supports were in Wings. They probably should have been more careful as soon as they saw him go into the secret shop, but high risk, high reward.
Now they're going to lose their last tier 1 tower. The mid tower gets taken out. This will open up certain things like ancient camps, a lot easier for Anti-Mage to be able to take up as he pushes down the mid lane.
He's becoming an issue now.
Yeah, certainly.
Look, what do you want to go now on Clinks? You mentioned that, yeah, it's riskier if he goes for Orchid first, but they didn't get any kills on the anti-mage with the Orchid. So I wouldn't say that it didn't pay off for him, but it probably didn't come out to the best of outcomes for him. So now what does he want to do? Does he want to go for a Scythe so he can double down on killing the anti-mage, or does he want to go for, let's say, BKB so that he can take team fights?
Scythe. At least, yeah, he better choose not to go to Scythe once Anti-Mage reveals that he has this Lincoln.
It's not that bad. He can just like Orchid into Scythe or Scythe and
oh, you're right, you're right.
He wants to be able to kill the anti-mage, and they actually don't have that great of setup. Like Nyx Assassin can maybe do it, but it's always a maybe because anti-mage has fast reflexes and can Manta slash Blink.
And eventually this Orchid will turn into a Bloodthorn as well, so if you're using that to just proc the Lincolns, right, you're missing out on a large share of your damage.
Mm-hmm. But you have to side them, because...
But you gotta do that.
Yeah. And you can, it'll set up offensive disruptions on him too, which is very important because anti-mage illusions are by far the best of this game.
Yeah. So now he's got an extra potential defensive item. Xiaowei has the Ghost Scepter, where you can start building into the Aghanims for super, but as you said, he kind of took the team fight first focus and didn't try and be that AFK farming Invoker that only comes online by 16 minutes. Or level 16 rather.
So now they are trying to Moonlight Shadow deep inside their own base so they don't get caught by Invisible Ward. They have the gem now on Ice, and looks like Roshan number 2 wants to be their prize after they deward this area. So they're already thinking ahead, already setting up for Roshan, making sure that Anti-Mage is strong enough to blink in there and solo it with a little bit of help. I guess it's not really solo, but kind of.
The solo +1.
Solo +1. Yeah. Solo air quotes.
Really, you just want somebody to tank Roshan. Right clicks, right?
Or just stun him constantly. Or get an alacrity on yourself, or carry a Vlad and be near you. Like any of those are, I would consider like, yeah, they're like soloing.
Trying to set up this stun. Is going to go for the Vendetta. Still managed to hit the stun after the Manta. ZYF is going to be caught a bit here, but he's still able to get his blink away. They just do not have the lockdown. The Ult Scepter goes down. They're going to try and lead this into another stun, but fortunately Impale isn't up just yet. They're just trying to slow down his retreat, and they do hit the Impale now, which means ZYF will take it out by the pure damage of Blink. Wings could have stopped to the split pushing Anti-Mage, but at the same time, LFY is still getting good control of the map. They're pushing out with 3 heroes mid. Super's recovering this bottom lane that was pushed in. He will soon, very soon, have an Aghanim Scepter. And again, look at that. Like Wings, they had a possibility to take an objective at tier 2 at the top lane, but they're gonna wrap down a bit of these heroes, control the mid lane. Do a little bit of hunting here.
You want to take this time. You can take a tower now. It's much better. Like, if you D-ward now, you can probably take the tower down and then some. Whereas if you don't do it now, you might not be able to D-ward because LFI would have respawned by then. So he's trying to get one, and I don't think he's going to get any wards in his merry jaunts around the map.
Disruption pushing, a classic. Wings circle right back up, knowing that's a little bit of LFY, and rotate it top. Maybe see if they can actually pick off Shadow, stop that push. But no opportunity will be given. This will allow our Clings to be able to finish up BKB, which is rather important. He still has a combination of stuns that are rather fast between the Sand King and then the Rubik Telekinesis that can catch him out, keep him chain stunned. But for the most part, this BKB will be a big boon for Wings in team fights. But are they going to get these team fights? They're always trying to recover this this pushing power that's coming out from LFY, where they just clear these creep waves.
I think they have enough, because they just killed the AM. That kind of signifies that, hey, we can kill anti-mage without any additions. So that means that I think they're going to force LFI to try and team fight very soon, because the split push game isn't necessarily working out for them, because they're going to lose Roche because they can't push out the lanes and they've lost anti-mage. It's also a signal by the Clinks too, because Clinks, I see this question a lot. It's like, why do pros hold on to so much gold? And it's because they're not actually sure what to get, because you got to see how the game progresses. If they don't have enough disable to kill the anti-mage, you go for sight. If you want more team fight, you go for BKB, and it wasn't really clear before that whether or not they could have killed the anti-mage. And with that one on the left side, it's a statement, hey, we don't really need it. We have a lot of pure damage with Timbersaw, a lot of lockdown, especially if we can hit an arrow, or if he mantas prematurely, and that they can just go for a team fight and force this engagement.
They have the gem on Yao. They've already spotted Shadow. They are going to be able to lead with a stun up on him. DYF tried to actually jump forward, but at the same time, Yao jumped backwards. They didn't have the vision. He gets 0 right clicks off on Shadow. Now Shadow pops his BKB, goes straight for ZYF, and they will be able to execute him. Zhao Wei looks like he got nailed by an arrow, but they're trying to take more of these heroes in the mid lane. Ice under the attempt of a chakram from Rubik's, actually a successful one. He managed to get that kill. 1 for 2, but Wings ready to push high ground. They've lost their support Murata. They don't give a damn about her. They're going to be having Faith Beyond act as a big old turret with his gem sitting on the front line. And, okay, force tapped him backwards rather than forwards. And our Clinks is going to be the big damage dealer. I like that play. Faith Beyond, I think it made himself face backwards so he wouldn't be force staffed into a situation he didn't want to be in.
Exactly.
Now the tier 3. Be chipped away in 35 seconds. Oh no, Super's going to be caught. This could potentially turn to so much more if Wings get the appropriate pickup. A big epicenter comes through, but it's just not quite enough. Both Faith Beyond as well as Blink will both survive, and Yao is the one to go down. They could have fought in 20 seconds when the enemy was coming back up, but they just lost Super as well as Yao. And without those two cores for another 45 seconds, Wings will continue on their push. They're going to go for the bottom lane next.
Faith has just been ridiculous this game. He is one of the best offlane players, and there's just such a big contrast in between him and Yao this game.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't need help on top, and he's still able to come out like almost double up Yao's net worth and still have just much more effective plays with the Blink Dagger, whereas Yao got his Blink Dagger a little bit late, and even when he got it, he still couldn't really do that much. He hesitated a lot with the out instead of actually going in that last fight, which I think really cost him. He was scared of the BKB, to be fair, but sometimes you just gotta go in and die. Like, they didn't even put up a fighting chance in that last skirmish.
Yeah, I mean, they just picked up that fresh basher, a little bit of RNG, and you never know what could have happened, right? The enemy popped his Manta, wanted to go on Shadow, and